Have you ever sat in a familiar room, listening to your loved ones say words that made your heart ache, as if no one else was on your side? If it were you, when betrayed by your lover and abandoned by your family, what would you do to stand up from the ashes? I was staring at my laptop screen, my hands shaking so much I could barely hold the mouse, and there was my body, cropped into a screenshot, pasted into a bullshit group chat. "Two backs and she thinks she's hot," Jake's message read, followed by a series of laughing emojis from his soccer group chat friends. My boobs zoomed in like it was an art exhibit. I screamed in my head, "Is this my boyfriend? This?" My heart was pounding like it was going to burst out of my chest, and my vision was blurry with tears. I'm Haley Lewis, 29, an IT engineer in San Jose, and no, I'm not some weird, quirky dream girl. I dress casual, jeans, a blouse, maybe a skirt if I want to be fancy. Think business casual mixed with I don't give a fuck, but to my lovely family, I was the stepchild, basically a guy with boobs. My mother Lorraine, lucky for her, never bragged about me. Instead, she told the neighbors, "Haley's always tinkering with machines like a greasy mechanic. Charming, right?" Then there was my brother, Samuel, 34, a smug corporate executive who thought he was God's gift to humanity. His favorite pastime? Reminding me that I was a cold, unlikable robot. "Maybe you should date a chatbot, Haley," he sneered one Thanksgiving, loud enough for the whole table to hear. "No real man would be able to stand your ice queen looks." I've gotten good at ignoring them. Or so I thought. Jake, Samuel's charming best friend, a 32-year-old finance guy with a sunny smile and a sweet talker's way, Mom and Samuel almost pressed me. What she meant was, "A woman approaching 30 without a man is scary. You're not getting any younger, Haley. Jake is your chance." "Don't screw it up," Samuel chimed in. "He's a great guy, sis. Don't embarrass me." So I caved, met him for coffee. He was nice, polite, even told a few jokes that made me laugh. I, a girl who never laughs at anything. I started thinking, okay, maybe this could work. Maybe I'm not such a hopeless case. God, I was naive. And to tonight, and I'm sitting here miserable because I've just stumbled upon the truth. I froze. My boyfriend, the guy who'd kissed me goodnight 3 days earlier, was passing me around like a locker room joke. What could be more fun than that? These were furtive photos taken without my knowledge. My face was always conveniently cropped. I dug deeper, because why stop when you're bleeding? It turned out that Jake's Instagram was a shrine to his ex, a curvaceous, sexy goddess named Mia. The pictures were of the perfect couple, them on the beach, at dinner, her blowing out birthday candles while he grinned like a puppy in love, open, proud, real, and me, I was his dirty little secret that he wouldn't even admit. Not a single post, not a single tagged photo, nothing. Just body parts for his brothers to judge like livestock at a county fair. I wanted to throw up, I wanted to scream, I wanted to smash this laptop into his stupid, smug face. I stormed into the kitchen where my mom and Samuel were sipping late-night coffee, laptops in hand. "Look," I yelled, shoving the screen in their faces. "Your precious Jake sent pictures of me to his friends, laughing at me like I was some kind of joke." My voice caught, and I waited for them to gasp, angry, concerned. My mom squinted at the screen, and then everyone, my family, disengaged. "Boys will be boys, Haley," she said. "Don't make a big deal out of it." I blinked because I was sure I'd heard wrong. To Jake, I was a burden, someone who should be grateful for the little things. I stumbled back to my room, fell onto my bed, and stared at the ceiling. What am I to these people? I whispered to myself. A secret, a joke, a failure? Tears stung my eyes, but I held them back. I was done crying about how shitty my life was. Jake would regret it. Mom and Samuel would too. Did they think I was a coward? Oh, they didn't know who they were messing with. I picked up the phone, my hands still shaking, and started Googling women's helplines. If no one would support me, I would grow my own spine. Steel, unbreakable, and ready to stab where it hurt. I choked up then. My wise brother, Samuel, decided to indulge us by butting in. He was sprawled on the couch like a king on his throne, smirking so smugly that I wanted to throw a frying pan at his head. "Yeah, he's still showing off to you, isn't he?" he said, chuckling as if I was overreacting to a bad haircut. "It's just a guy thing. Don't make such a big deal out of it." I slammed my laptop shut so hard the cups rattled and coffee spilled on the table. "Showing off to the kid?" I yelled, my voice echoing off the peeling wallpaper. "This isn't bragging, you idiot. This is a humiliating conga line." Samuel rolled his eyes and leaned back further, crossing his arms. "Oh, please. I didn't cry when that pimply kid ditched me at the prom. Come on." I was shaking now, not from tears. They were drying fast, but from the rage boiling in my gut. Mom turned away, fiddling with the dishwasher as if I were some annoying commercial she could mute. "If you knew how to make a man happy," she muttered, turning her back to me, "we wouldn't be having this conversation." Samuel chuckled, mumbling something about me needing to lighten up. That was it. That was all I got. No anger, no sympathy, just a loud "get over it" from two people who were supposed to support me. I snatched my laptop and walked away, their voices fading to smug hums behind me. I wasn't just Jake's dirty secret. I was their shame, their burden, the daughter they wanted a receipt for. I locked myself in my old bedroom, the one my mother kept as a shrine to my better days, that is when I was 5, and didn't talk back. I collapsed onto the creaky double bed, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars still stuck to the ceiling. "What the hell am I to these people?" I whispered to the empty room. A failure, a joke, a flaw in their perfect family script? My chest tightened, and for a weak, pathetic second, I let the tears fall. They burned my cheeks, salty and useless, and I hated myself for it. Then I sat up, wiped my face so hard it hurt, and growled. That's the last time I'm gonna cry over this shit. I was done being their doormat, done begging for crumbs of respect. If they wouldn't fight for me, I would fight for myself. I picked up the phone and called a women's hotline I found online, a 24/7 hotline for victims like me. They had no idea what was coming. I paced the room and then I realized Jake's phone. I arranged to meet him at a coffee shop and calmly pretended to meet Jake. Then I secretly installed the software on his phone while he was in the bathroom. I had come up with a project in college, a little sneaky spyware that I never thought I'd use for anything other than to annoy my classmates. Maybe. Risky? Absolutely. I didn't care anymore. Before things get any more chaotic, I want to ask you, if you were in Hailey's shoes and your family was indifferent, what would you do? Keep quiet and stand up for yourself. I crept downstairs, past the kitchen where my mother was complaining about the neighbor's dog, and grabbed the phone. My heart was pounding like a jackhammer, but my hand was steady as I plugged it into the laptop. The software loaded, the progress bar ticking like a countdown to vengeance. The screen blinked. Installation complete. I unplugged, slid back onto the table, and crept upstairs as if nothing had happened. My palms were sweaty, my pulse was racing, but I felt alive, electric. Did they think I was some nameless wimp? Oh, baby, they were about to find out. I was a fucking storm. Jake's secret, Mom's indifference, Samuel's arrogance. It was all mine now, and I was just getting started. I was an IT wizard turned amateur spy, sitting on my childhood bed with my laptop watching their lines of code. Jake's phone was now my personal snitch, thanks to the spyware I'd installed as a digital ankle monitor. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure my mom downstairs could hear her whining about HOAs. I was in deep now, breaking rules, crossing boundaries, and honestly, it felt good. Fair play. The spyware was active, and my screen was lighting up with notifications faster than a Black Friday sale. Texts, photos, voice memos. Jake was a one-man garbage factory, and I had a front row seat. I hunched over, eyes stinging as the first message popped up. "That it chick thinks she's a hot chick with a nerd's voice," he typed to a guy named Brad. "Keep her because she's easy." Easy, easy. I almost threw the laptop out the window, but I gritted my teeth and kept scrolling. Another gem. She has no idea I'm just killing time. Oh my, his little shriveled heart. I wasn't just angry, I was a nuclear reactor about to melt down. Every word was a new stab, but I wasn't here to cry. I was here to bury him. Time was ticking, though. Jake would surely notice his phone was gone, and Samuel was too sloppy for me to hide forever. I had maybe another day before this blew up in my face, so I was racing against my own stupidity. I was mid-scroll when I heard footsteps. Heavy, lazy footsteps. Samuel. "Hailey, are you still sulking up there?" he yelled, his voice dripping with big brother condescension. I slammed the laptop shut, heart pounding, and yelled back, "Yeah, just plotting world domination, leave me alone." He grunted and shuffled away, probably to stuff his face with Mom's leftover meatballs. Almost too close. My palms were slippery, but I flipped the screen back on. because I wasn't gonna stop now. Not when I was this deep in the mud. The real gold came an hour later. Jake was bragging in a group thread, different from the soccer thread, this time with his coworkers. "Haley's a pushover," he wrote. "Told her I'd take her to Tahoe, but instead I went to Vegas with my boyfriends." A winking emoji followed, like he was a genius playboy. Then a voice memo. His smug laugh echoed through my headphones as he said, "She's so desperate, she'll probably thank me for lying." I clenched my fist so hard my nails dug into my palms. Desperate? Me? Oh man, you're about to find out what desperation looks like when I shove this evidence down your throat. But wait, there's more. A bonus message to Samuel. "Your sister has no clue. Easy money, man. Owe you one." Samuel replied with a thumbs up. My brother, luring me like I was a coupon. I was shaking, not with fear, but with a fierce, fierce rage I didn't know I had. I was in the middle of this shithole when I stumbled upon something else. Mia, Jake's ex, the Instagram princess from his glory days. He kept letting her name pop up in old chats, and not in a good way. Mia is a cheap girl, but too fancy, he'd written months ago. Must change her for something simpler. Simpler, me, obviously. Cheap model. But then I found a deleted thread, restored by my spyware magic, where he'd badmouthed her to his group. She thinks she's all that with her fake ass. Dump her before she figures me out. Fake ass? Classy, Jake. Really classy. I stopped, staring at Mia's name. If he did this to her, maybe she was more than just a pretty face on his profile. Maybe she was a weapon. I followed her on Instagram, where there were lots of beach selfies, and sent her a DM. "Hey, he's badmouthing us both. Can we talk?" She read it, then blocked me. I wasn't deterred. I dug up an old email from the project team, the tone whispery. "He's a freeloader, Mia. He's freeloading off of us and laughing about it." Mia hesitated. I could see Mia's doubt, but the pain recognized the pain. She quickly made an appointment with me. We were his toys until we weren't toys anymore. She stared at me, then nodded, slowly and sharply. "What's your plan?" she asked. I grinned, showing all my teeth. "I have enough to burn him to the ground. Texts, audio, everything. But I need more. Do you want it?" She hesitated, then leaned in. "He had a disposable phone. Used it to tease me after we broke up. Bet he still has it." Disposable phone? Oh, this was more interesting. "Where?" I pressed. "His car. Glove box. He was paranoid about losing it." I soaked it in, my mind reeling. Mia wasn't just a victim, she was a fucking gold mine. "Crucify him," she said, her voice calm now. "For both of us." I nodded, feeling a wild jolt of electricity. We weren't friends yet, but we were allies, bound by the same stench of the bastard. I left the cafe, my mind reeling, but my steps steady. The spyware was still active. Mia's intel was a game changer. If I could get the phone I used, I'd kill him instantly. But it was risky, breaking into his car. That was crazy. I glanced at my phone. Another text from Jake to Brad. "Dinner with Haley tonight. Got to keep her on the hook." On the hook? Oh baby, you're the one floating now. I'm coming for you, and I'm bringing hell with me. Now I was a spy in disarray, sitting in a dimly lit room with Mia hunched over me, my fingers flying across the keyboard like we were writing a script for the end of the world. My laptop was full of Jake's filth texts, voice notes, screenshots, and Mia had her own arsenal, including photos from the disposable phone we'd taken from his car last night. That's right, we'd broken in. Don't judge me. Reddit, I stopped caring about legal when I was this angry. We were about to drop a nuclear bomb on Jake's life, and I was internally giggling like a supervillain. This was it, the big reveal, the moment I stopped being his secret and started being his nightmare. Me and I spent hours crafting this masterpiece, a 2,000-word expose that would make a tabloid editor weep with envy. We had it all, his texts, his smug voice memos, and a video from Haley's home security camera of him sprawled on her couch, beer in hand, saying, "Haley's so bored I could cheat in front of her and she'll regret it." Mia chimed in with a voice recorder like the nasty messages he'd sent her after the breakup, like, "You're nothing without me, Prince." We even added a timeline. My hands shook as I hovered over the post button on a private Facebook group, a women's empowerment site with 50 members. Mia nodded, her jaw clenched. "Do it," she said. I clicked. The screen flickered. It was live. There was no turning back now. Within 20 minutes, everything was chaos. Notifications flooded my phone, shares, likes, comments, piling up like a digital avalanche. "This guy is a pig," one woman wrote. "Show his ass," another said. By the second hour, it had spread to Twitter, then to Reddit, r/relationships, of course, where the popcorn army had torn Jake to shreds. I stared at the screen, half excited, half terrified, as the post hit 10,000 shares. Mia grinned, a rare crack in her stoic facade. "He's been roasted," she said, taking a third sip of coffee. "Toast? Honey, he's a piece of charcoal." His finance company was tagged in the comments. Some former coworkers revealed that he was on thin ice for inappropriate behavior. By midnight, a LinkedIn post from his boss announced, "We have terminated an employee effective immediately for an ethics violation." Oh, Jake, you hate to see that, except I loved every second of it. But what were the real fireworks? That's when the real damage happened. Samuel's phone started blowing up. His precious reputation was tied to Jake, and he was now collateral damage. He stormed upstairs, redder than a stoplight, and banged on my door. "What the hell did you do, Haley?" he roared, storming in like he owned the place. I leaned back in my chair, snickering. "Just showed the world your best friend's true colors. Are you crazy?" He sputtered, veins popping. "I got suspended for this. They think I'm covering for him." I shrugged, feigning innocence. "Should have picked better friends, Sammy, or, a backbone." He lunged for my laptop, but I snatched it back, laughing. "Too late, man. It's gone viral. Enjoy your ride." He stormed out, cursing me to death. Out of the woods. His company's PR team was in hot water. As it turns out, being associated with a pervert is bad for business. Mom was next. She called at 2 a.m., her voice so high-pitched it could have woken the dead. "Haley Marie Lewis, you ruined us," she screamed. "The neighbors won't even look at you. Aunt Cheryl unfriended you on Facebook." I held back. Oh, poor Mom, it must be harder to be a perfect mom. She was sobbing now, hysterically. "You raised me better than this. How dare you embarrass us?" I cut her off, my voice icy. "You embarrassed me first, Lorraine. Live with it." I hung up, threw the phone on the bed, and left her to grieve. The next day, I heard from a cousin that Mom had been staying away from the women at church. Her model family game clearly wasn't working anymore. Cry a river for Mom. From strangers, venom from Jake's remaining fanboys, even a shaky "I'm sorry" text from Samuel that I didn't bother to reply to. I felt weird. Vindicated, sure, but also empty. I wanted them to be hurt, and they were. Jake was unemployed, Samuel was an outcast, Mom was a social outcast. But what about me? I closed my laptop, staring at the stupid glow-in-the-dark stars from my childhood. This wasn't the end, it was the reckoning. They thought I would stay quiet, take the beating, be their punching bag forever. No, I was Haley Lewis, and I had just set their world on fire. So here we are at the grand finale of my play. I've had enough before. Now I'm sitting in my apartment in San Jose with a glass of wine and a smirk that could cut glass. Jake is a ghost, Samuel is licking his wounds, and Mom is probably praying for my soul at some discounted bingo night. The dust has settled from our nuclear attack, and I'm still standing there, taller, meaner, and far prouder than I ever thought possible. This isn't just an ending. It's a middle finger to all those who thought I'd forever be their silent little nobody. Grab a snack, because I'm about to tell you how I turned their trash into my victory. Jake's done. Last I heard, he was sleeping over at a loser cousin's house after his landlord kicked him out. Arguably unpaid rent and a ruined reputation don't mix. His phone was dead, his social media was dark, and word on the street was that he was dodging a lawsuit from an ex who saw our post and decided to join in. Fine. Let him squirm. The cops never charged him for those creepy, wandering rumors, but his name was smeared in every bar from here to Sacramento. I pictured him hunched over a warm beer, moaning about how bitches ruined his life, and I laughed so hard I almost choked on my drink. Karma is a slow process, but she's thorough, and I'm her biggest fan right now. Samuel wasn't much better. His suspension became permanent. His company didn't like the image of a manager tied to a public corruption scandal. He was now working a thankless job at a call center, cold calling cranky baby boomers about contract renewals. Poetic, right? He sent me another text last week. "Can we talk?" I screwed up. I stared at it, took a sip of coffee, and hit delete. Talk? Sure, when hell freezes over and he has a conscience. I heard from a mutual friend that he was single again. His girlfriend dumped him after the scandal broke, presumably because he was tired of dating a guy whose moral compass pointed squarely at asshole. I'd feel bad, but no, he dug his own grave. Enjoy your life, man. Mom's the real jerk. She was quiet, which was a miracle for a woman who had nagged a comatose patient back to life, my cousin had revealed. She was persona non grata at her knitting group after someone Googled Jake the jerk and connected the dots. She tried calling once, leaving a voicemail that was half sobbing, half preaching, "Haley, I just want my family back." I put her on speaker, rolled my eyes, and let it auto-dip family. She had her chance when I needed her, and she chose Jake's ego over my self-esteem. Now she was stuck with dusty photo albums and a neighborhood whispering behind her back. Lorraine, hard turn. Maybe pray more. But me? Oh, I'm thriving and it's wonderful. A week after this post went viral, I got an email from a professor at UC Berkeley, a tech ethicist who had witnessed the whole thing. "We'd love to have you speak at our next conference," she wrote. "Your story is a masterclass in autonomy and resilience." Me? Speaking at a university, I nearly spilled my cereal laughing, but I said yes. The gig was last month. 200 students crammed into a lecture hall, staring at me like I was some badass warrior queen. I stood there in my Target jacket, my knees shaking, and told them the whole story. Not the gory details, but the gist of it, how I escaped being a secret, a joke, a burden. They applauded, like, applaud. A standing ovation, no less. I walked off stage feeling 10 feet taller even as I tripped over the mic cord on the way out. But that wasn't the end of it. The conversation went viral. Someone filmed it, posted it on YouTube, and it now has 300,000 views. My inbox was flooded with messages, women thanking me, techies asking for advice, even a random guy who wrote, "You're hot and smart, will you marry me?" I deleted that message, but the rest? They were pretty impressive. A girl, 22, said she dumped her own Jake after watching me. Single mom guilt. I'm Haley Lewis, the woman who burned her chains and danced in the flames. I glanced at Samuel's stupid "I'm sorry" message, which had yet to be answered, and laughed. Sorry? Too late, man. I have to speak, I have to wear dresses, and I have to live a life where I am no one's secret, no one's burden, just me, unapologetic and unstoppable. The viral post is still going strong, but I'm not the only one trending anymore. Jake is the gift that keeps on giving, and I'm just here to enjoy the pain. Call me petty, but I've earned a front row seat to this clown parade after all. Jake's latest disaster, he tried to go to a dive bar last week. Big mistake. A girl recognized him from the hashtag Jake the Jerk, snapped a photo and tweeted, "Caught this jerk staring at my friend's ass." Feels like an expose. The post got 5,000 retweets and the bar banned him. I chuckled. He's out there, stubble covered, probably whining to a disinterested bartender. Meanwhile, I heard he applied for a job at a bank downtown. Rejected when the manager Googled him. Bad luck, man. Should have thought twice before turning me into your personal meme repository. Samuel wasn't glowing either. He was staying at his mom's, sleeping on the same couch he'd once mocked me for napping on. His old friends had abandoned him. It turned out no one wanted a companion tied to public disgrace. He called me yesterday, his voice hoarse and pathetic. "Haley, I'm sorry, okay? Can you talk to me?" I let the phone ring, then texted back. "Sorry's $1 short and a decade late. Try therapy, block, done." My mom was still sulking. Her garden club had dropped her after someone mentioned the terrible son-in-law she bragged about. Jake wasn't even that, but the truth never stopped her from acting like a martyr. Me, I was fine. I had a freelance IT job lined up. A couple startups were paying me to debug their apps. No attention, no drama, just code and cash. I was sipping coffee, not crying, and planning a solo trip to some sunny place. Maybe Miami. No secrets, no luggage, just me in a bikini. Jake was a footnote, Samuel was a ghost, and Mom was a lesson in what not to be. I tossed a kernel of popcorn up, caught it in my mouth, and grinned. If they thought I was going to fall apart, no, I was the one still standing. And if you're listening to this and feeling your heart sink because you've been overlooked, betrayed, or kept quiet to keep the peace in your family, know that you're not alone. If you've ever felt betrayed by the people you love most, you probably know Haley better than anyone. You may have been the one who suffered silently, but you may also have been the one who stood up, like her. So I want to hear from you. Have you ever been through something similar? Have you stayed silent, or have you stood up like Haley? Share your story in the comments, because maybe just one line from you will be enough to show someone they're not alone. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. If this story touches your heart, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who might need it, because sometimes a story can be the key to a whole new journey. And you deserve a better journey. Starting today.